Marc Owen Jones with us here in Studio 14 now, Assistant Professor at Hamad bin Khalifa University here in Doha. He researches issues of surveillance and technology. And this, Karma, I don't know if I like the name of that, but what surprises me with what we're hearing in that report is that it sounds very simple. It can sneak into your phone almost, and it makes me wonder how safe any of us are. Right here,
yeah.
You know.
Well, I would be very cautious if I had an Apple product. The thing is with Karma...
I've got three right here,
exactly.
now.
You could be compromised. But Karma is, as you say, it's brutally simple. If you are the operative using it, you'll literally put in the phone number. You could put in your phone number, my phone number, and then if we had an iPhone, it would be able to then extract data from our phone, including images, audio, video files. It's that simple.
It's too simple.
It's too simple and it's alarming. I mean, there's a huge market in these exploits. So governments often will pay top dollar for an iPhone hack. You're talking $1 million for something, the ability to intrude on an iPhone product that's new. So every time a new iPhone comes out, there's a race by cybersecurity firms to actually try and find weaknesses or exploits in those products.
And we keep saying iPhone, iPhone. Is this not something that an Android phone or a Huawei or a Samsung is susceptible as well?
Well, Huawei, I think, have their own a separate security against them. Android are generally known to be more vulnerable to weaknesses. I think one of the things with iPhones is, one, we have to consider how popular they are in the region. So they tend to be quite commonly used in the Middle East. But also, Apple market themselves as this secure firm and as a producer of very reliable products. And what we've seen, actually, increasingly recently is that we've had the facepalm exploit, we've had the Karma exploit, and several others that have been sort of used and utilized on activists in the Middle East. So I think while Apple purport to be big on security, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that they aren't actually as strong as they say they are.
OK, so on my computer, I can install antivirus and software out there which will help protect me from threats.
Yes.
Can that be done on here?
Yes, it can be. But the way these exploits work is that these exploits are new, and so they are able to bypass current technology's ability to detect those exploits. When companies are made aware, when Apple or Kaspersky or any antivirus software are made aware of these exploits, they will then produce something that will secure your phone.
Yeah.
But there's a window of time between that where your phone is potentially vulnerable. And if the companies do not know, if Apple don't know, if the antivirus companies do not know, then your phone will continue to be vulnerable in that time.
The other interesting thing, and one of our viewers watching on Facebook has just said, well, he's put it in these terms, who's orchestrating the UAE to embrace hacking activity? Maybe if I can turn that around a bit and just say, this sort of thing seems to, it goes across borders, and there's been talk of Israeli involvement as well, and things like that. It doesn't seem to matter about political allegiances, because it's a money thing, isn't it? And if you've got the technology,
well, absolutely.
Away you go, right?
I think what we have to look at it now is there's a decentralization of power. So not just social media companies, but cybersecurity firms are competing in a global market. And there's state actors who see threats coming from everywhere, not just from their citizens. As we've seen with the Project Raven, they were targeting Americans, they were targeting Qataris, they were targeting Turkish officials. So there is this tendency now with the rise of digital technology to widen the net in terms of who one targets.
Any advice then, sort of consumer advice that you can give? In fact, I'm just going to, just hold on a second. I'm going to hold that up. See, on my computer there, I've got the little cover on my camera there, right? So, you know, that's just a little bit, a precaution which someone can take. But, you know, what advice, because everything you've just described to us says it's a type of thing which looks like it's out of our control, especially if you are a mug like me who goes out and buys the newest thing.
Well, I'm guilty of doing the same, but, you know, covering your camera is actually a good precaution, but generally speaking, don't click on links from unknown senders. The problem with Karma is that it didn't rely on this exploit. Generally, make sure you only respond to trusted contacts, enable two-factor authentication, although there are problems with these things. There's no silver bullet to fix all this, but one has to be increasingly vigilant.
I really do. Gosh, Marc, lovely to talk to you. Thank you for coming in. Cheers.
Thank you.
Now, while we're talking tech...